There's no playbook. You gotta make up your own rules. You really do. And I just think it's a combination. You still have the mother in you come up with that flaming sword. Don't mess with my son. And
100%.
then you find out what maybe they don't talk about a lot is red tape you have to go through. I mean, you need an advocate, and I was the one. I'm standing there with that flaming sword. Nope, nope, we're not gonna do this. Not today.
It's Aphasia Care Partner Independence Month. We are here to acknowledge the hardworking aphasia care partners, the spouses, the moms, the adult children that are showing up every day, taking on new roles and responsibilities to support the survivor in rebuilding life beyond aphasia. This week, you get to meet Cheryl. Cheryl is Aphasia Phil's mom, and we had a great conversation about what it was like for her going through this process supporting her adult son after a stroke. This is Life Beyond Aphasia. I think other professionals need to understand a little bit more what the day to day is like, what's going through your head, the emotional supports that you need, and also that your role, you still are his mom, but as a mom, you raise your son to adulthood and you're not thinking in the way of caretaking, right? You've launched them, they're out of the nest, they're doing their thing, and now you're back in mom mode again.
As a caregiver, you have to start at the beginning when all this happens because you go into stress mode and you don't really know that's what you're doing because you're thinking about, okay, how am I going to work this out? What we're going to do, how we're going to do is what, when, where, and how. And that carries on into the rehabilitation part. And you're still in that same mode. You want to be supportive. You really don't realize how stressed you really are. And so you start off with, okay, he's not talking. And that adds to your stress level. And you're thinking, how am I going to fix this? As a mother, how do I fix it? But then you have to look at yourself and remember this is something, it's medically and it's not personal. So when your one has a stroke or a traumatic brain injury like he had, you have to remember that they're not going to be the same person, even though you're thinking all along it is, but it's not. And you're going to have to figure out how to deal with it. And you really don't know until something happens. And Philip, at one point, he couldn't speak, couldn't talk. He didn't know what certain things were. As a mother, parent, you have to understand that, you know, I got to look at this differently, even though your brain keeps bringing back to how you think it should be. And that's not how it is. And you just have to understand that they're going to be different. You have to be a mother, a psychiatrist, a nurse, a doctor, a dietitian, all these things you have to do, and you sort of lose part of your personal time. But you don't realize that stress is still there. You carry it, you're still carrying it. So it's like being a mother to a grown toddler. I guess that's the best way to put it because they learn things from you. And so you
Mhm.
have to be careful if he's talking and you want to say, and you try to, you know, how you want to complete somebody's sentence, you have to learn to stop doing that. You have to learn to speak on one subject at a time because he couldn't follow. We could be talking about cakes and, you know, how the girls get together and we talk about TV and all that. He can't do that. So you have to remember that this person cannot follow conversations like they used to. You also have to remember that they had a brain injury and they're going to get tired. The brain gets tired. And that's something I didn't even know that the brain gets tired and they're gonna be tired and their moods will change, and you have to go with the mood and talk them through it instead of reacting in another mood that's not really good for them because they're not understanding that they're really going through a mood that he doesn't understand it. And when he gets tired, I can tell it because he gets real quiet. But that's some of the things that you really have to look at, that it's a whole big pot. It's like spaghetti, and you just have to take it one piece at a time. It's a never ending story, and you have to understand that too. You have to understand that there are going to be times that he's going to get frustrated and it's going to frustrate you, but you have to understand that the frustration is not aimed at you.
That's right.
It's their frustration, and you can help them by not getting frustrated and let them talk it out.
But you were able to change. Do you think it was because it was a mom-son relationship, or is it you? What would you say?
When Philip had his stroke, I had to think about all the while we were going through this. The first day it happened, and the second day they had to take him into surgery. My thoughts were ahead, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? So I'm thinking forward thinking on how to do this and what to do and how to do because there's no book, there's no playbook. You got to make up your own rules. You really do. And I just think it's a combination. You still have the mother in you come up with that flaming sword. Don't mess with my son. And
100%.
then you find out what maybe they don't talk about a lot is red tape you have to go through. I mean, you need an advocate, and I was the one. I'm standing there with that flaming sword. Nope, nope, we're not gonna do this. Not today. You know, I don't care if you keep me on the phone for 4 hours. I will put it on the table and just sit there and do something else till somebody answers the phone. So we've been going through a lot. So it's been stressful, but you have to sort of look inside yourself and understand, what if it was me? How would I like to be treated? Do I want to be treated like mud cake? So you have to look at it like that. And yeah, I'm not saying I don't get frustrated. I do, but I
Yeah.
have to walk away and let it go. But it's doable. That's one thing as a caregiver, parent, you have to understand. Not easy, but it's doable.
What do you do to recharge?
Sleep. Or sleep and listen to music. That's basically what I do. I don't sleep as much. I try to go to bed early, but then my stress is still there, so I can't get to sleep like I want to. But once I go to sleep, now I know I got to start all over again. But there, everybody's going to be different on how they can deal with this situation, and music helps out a lot.
Let's put a time frame on how long you've been supporting him since his stroke.
Since June of 2022.
Okay. So coming up on 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the early days, he was in the hospital for quite a long time.
Yes. Yes.
What would have helped you in those days he was in the hospital?
The system would have been nice if they would answer their phones and not keep you on hold for 3 hours trying to navigate, because we were in Philadelphia, trying to navigate through their system. As soon as he got out of intensive care and they got him where he could mobilize and he doesn't have to, he could swallow. And these little small things you don't even think matter, but they come in and make sure that he can swallow. They helped me out, get him into his first facility, and that was just fantastic. It didn't get bad till they put him in a skilled nursing
Mhm.
H hole. That's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And that is when I had to really, how can I say it? Show myself. When they put stroke victims, and especially ones that have brain injury, in a place like that, and there's nobody there to help them, they just they don't do anything for them. That is when I really had to go into, I am not playing with you guys today. And it got to the point they see me coming, they go the opposite direction because I want to know, why is this happening? What helps anyone is being an advocate for yourself and for your loved one. You have to don't accept no. That's the only thing I can think of. Don't accept no. Dig deeper. Get that shovel and keep digging till you get to the core. And that's what I had to do a lot.
How did it shift when he came home? When you guys got back to Ohio? What was your caregiving like then, and how did you go about it?
It was 24/7 because Philip also is susceptible to seizures. When he first came home, I slept on a chair couch because I was worried. It was hard because I really wasn't getting any rest because I was so afraid that he was going to have a seizure. So we had to get through the system for him to get a chair to go up the steps. But before that, he would have to wait for me to bring him up the steps, wait for me to bring him back down. And I know it was frustrating. So that part was really hard for us because when you if you want a snack or something, you can't do anything. Now he's gotten to the point where, we used to have to take the wheelchair and take it with us everywhere. And it finally got to the point where we adjusted to that, where he decided on his own that he's not going to use a wheelchair. And I'm saying, okay, that's what you want to do. So I said, well, you need to talk to your PT people. And they agreed, let's get him off the cane. So that was progress.
He's talking with so many people. His speech is so good.
And I let him do that all himself.
I know you did.
I'm just gonna stay out of it. When sometimes he would ask me about this and that, and I would tell him, okay, well, he would like, no, 'cause Philip's stubborn, and I'm like, okay, you'll figure it out. I mean, it's not gonna kill you, but you'll figure it out.
I think that's an important point just in general with caregivers. And you were talking about it earlier in a couple of different ways. We want to protect, but if it's not going to kill them, if it's not going to be a big safety hazard, let them struggle. Let them
Right.
figure it out because that's where the growth is.
Exactly, and that's what I had to do. But it was hard to let go. See,
Oh,
I have
100%.
to. I had to
Yeah. And you're doing this
smoke coming out of
again
my ears, and I'm like, okay, just let
because you
him
were
do it.
mom before and you had to come back to being mom again.
I'm a grown man's mother at 73, so it's like, ah. So you learn experiences through my years of what I've been doing. I had to sit and relearn to be a mother to a toddler man. One time, told me get out of his room and all kind of crazy stuff.
You're like, wait, I've heard this somewhere before.
Yeah, so it was, but I knew it was a medication, and okay, I'll go. I'll come back the next day.
You guys have been through the gamut, coming up on
Yeah,
4 years.
yeah, we have.
Advocacy, letting go, not taking stuff personally, constant problem solving, more advocacy on top of it.
It's a never ending story. It's never going to end. It just isn't. But you just have to understand that part of your life is changed forever. The spirit is still there, but it might not fly as far as the eagle flies, maybe once a year, but you have to understand that. They were improving on whatever we were doing the day before. It's something different the next day, so we've made another improvement.
That's wonderful. And you celebrate wins. That's the other thing
Yeah.
picked up from you. You celebrate the wins, doesn't matter what it is.
It's our life, and you have to accept that this is your life and keep moving on and keep living. Don't give up your life. Don't give up his life. Combine your lives together and figure out a way to make it work for both of you.
Love it. Cheryl, thank you for letting me bust in here on Phil's channel. Thank you, Phil.
I really enjoyed my conversation with Cheryl. She was just so candid and upfront about what it was like going through this process with aphasia Phil. And we want to support you, the care partner. We have a self-reflection tool that I created, and what it does is helps you see where you are strong and where you can use support as an aphasia care partner. It's based on 9 real-life areas that you can quantify and understand what your next step could be to get support. You can take this free tool now. The link is below in the show notes. Rehab ends. Life doesn't. Rebuild communication, rebuild connection, rebuild life. This is Life Beyond Aphasia.